In a discretionary trust, a trustee is given control over the frequency and amount of distributions to beneficiaries. However, these types of trusts may contain a provision that limits a trustee's discretion, allowing beneficiaries to force distributions. In the 1991 case Marsman v. Nasca, a Massachusetts appeals court considered if a trustee could be compelled to make distributions to a beneficiary's estate following a violation of such limited discretion. While married, Sara and Frederick, also known as Cappy, Marsman, lived comfortably together and owned a house in Wellesley, Massachusetts, as tenants by the entirety. In September 1971, Sara died testate, or with a will, survived by Cappy and a daughter, Sally, from a previous marriage. The house in Wellesley passed to Cappy by operation of law. Additionally, Sara created a testamentary trust for Cappy in her will, naming her lawyer, James Farr, as the trustee. Pursuant to the trust, Farr was to distribute the principal of the amount received to Cappy for his maintenance, comfort, and support. Farr was to consider the various available sources of support for Cappy before making any distributions. In addition, the trust included an exculpatory clause where Farr could only be liable for his willful neglect or default in making distributions. In 1972, Cappy married Margaret. While Cappy was struggling financially, he requested a distribution of principal from Farr under the trust to cover expenses of the home. Farr made a $300 payment to Cappy but discouraged him from requesting any additional distributions. Cappy then turned to Sally and her husband Richard Marlette for assistance in paying for the home. In 1974, Sally and Cappy entered into an agreement where Sally agreed to pay for the costs of the home and Cappy agreed to deed the home to Sally and Richard upon his death. However, contrary to the agreement, Cappy left the home to Margaret in his will. In 1983, Sally died, and Richard became the owner of the home subject to Cappy's life estate. Subsequently, when Cappy died in 1987, Richard sent Margaret notice to vacate the home, but she refused to leave. Margaret sued Richard and Farr in probate court, alleging breach of fiduciary duties. During the proceedings, Richard died, and the executor of his estate, John Nasca, was substituted as defendant. The probate court ordered Richard's estate to transfer the home to Margaret and Farr to refund the home bills that Sally and Richard paid from the trust. If the trust's assets weren't sufficient to cover the amount of the refund, Farr was ordered to repay the money personally. Farr and Richard's estate then appealed to the Massachusetts Appeals Court.